It's the boomers' fault. You can't tell me anything differently. That's what I've been hearing all day long. It's the boomers' fault. They should have done this. They should have done that. Fellas, ladies, and gents, and creatures of all flavors of the night, we didn't have any more idea what was going on than you do right now. Yes, old farts like me are realizing that the rules of the game have changed. And it's impossible for those kids in Generation Z and other generations to acquire anything. I agree with you 100%, and I'm working to try and fix it. But that's not the problem. The rules of the game have changed substantially. This isn't just happening in America. Look at what's happening over in the UK right now. If they don't totally export every Muslim person over there, and probably every other race that wasn't born in the United Kingdom, they're going to lose it all. So you think they're going to be able to buy a house or this or that or get an inheritance or anything like that? Nah, ain't going to happen. Same thing's happening in America. This isn't just something that's happening only in America. This is happening globally. We have 8 billion people, over 8 billion people. And the last time I counted, which granted it's been back in 2012 or so, we had something like 150 million jobs in America. Something like 300 something million, I think it was Australia maybe, and something like 500 in Europe. 500 million I'm talking. So we're talking almost 1 billion in jobs. Don't quote me on these numbers because, man, they're old. I'm sure they've changed some. My point is, you got 8 billion people wanting 1 billion jobs. That's destroying everything that you want, that you ever hope to achieve. This ain't about you no more, sonny boy and little lady, little girl. It's much bigger than all of us together. I'm hearing stories about after everything goes to hell, there's a group thinks they're going to go out in the countryside and build little communes and everything, kind of like the hippies wanted to do way back in the 60s or whatever. Problem is, you're not considering somebody owns that land. You're going to destroy them so that you can have yours? I mean, that's basically what I'm hearing. We need a plan, I agree. We need to make it so our kids can raise their kids and they can all leave each other something. I lost my inheritance. Not going to lie about it. At one time, I might have had 100 acres out in the country. Man, I sure do miss that 100 acres. But I lost it. You might have lost your inheritance. Every one of us from here on out might lose our inheritance. If we don't wake up and get our head out of our butts, we're going to lose more than that. Look at what's happening in Dearborn, this epic city in Texas and all these places. You got these friggin' politicians out there that teach you a bunch of crap about how they've shut it all down. Yet you talk to the locals, and you find out they ain't done nothing. So who do you believe? Yesterday, I've been fighting the state of Texas now for a good while about the jobs creation. Oh, Governor Abbott, he said, man, we created X number of jobs this month or this year or whatever. And I know for a fact, from my research on jobs, that only 50% of those jobs went to Texans or Americans. The other 50% went to people that don't give a shit about our future from other countries. So don't blame the boomers. Look in the mirror and blame yourself, and I don't care what age group you are. We are all guilty, each and every one of us. This crap ain't going to change until we cowboy up and change it. Now, the legal way is to do what I'm trying to do, and to run for Senate or Congress or whatever, at a state or federal level. It don't matter. We need to do it at all levels. We need to replace everybody that's in there. And those corrupt son of bitches like that Pelosi bitch that made billions trading stocks with insider knowledge, why ain't she in jail? You want to blame somebody? Blame her. Start with her. I mean, there's so much we can do, but to blame the boomers for your misfortunes, they should have known better. How? We had no more of a clue what was going on at the time than you do right now. I mean, don't just give it up. If you want to work to develop a solution to make it so that you can have a future, I'll work with you all day long. But just to blame some pigeonhole category, which could be any one of us or all of us or none of the above, that's bullshit. Now, I don't want to get out here on a serious note, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you a little story about boot camp and how you should read the manual. We had a saying when I was in the Navy. It was called RTFM. I ain't going to tell you what that F stands for, but it was read the manual. Well, in '76, when I walked in that Navy recruiting station, the guy asked me, he said, "You can do anything you want. Your aptitude's that high." I said, "Well, I really liked work on radios. I didn't even know what radios was, really. I just knew it was a common thing." He said, "Fine, we'll make you a radioman. Matter of fact, we'll give you what they call a push button. What was that called? Push button petty officer?" In other words, instead of throwing in as the E1, I'll make it win in as the E4. I thought, man, I'm doing something good here. Had to sign up for 6 years, but that didn't bother me. Hell, what else I got to do? Back then, I don't remember being a lot of jobs around. There's an oil field. There's always an oil field. Used to always be the oil field. When I got old, I found out the oil field wasn't always open. But anyway, I went in that boot camp. And did okay, I guess. Till it comes the time to go to the swimming pool. And you had to jump off this diving board about 40 foot in the air in the swimming pool. And if you could make it to the side of the pool, they considered that you could swim. Well, people like me that can't swim, God, that was a fate worse than death. So anyway, I spent 2 weeks in that damn swimming pool until I learned how to jump in and roll over on my back and float around that pool twice. Time I got out, I was waterlogged, boy, let me tell you. And anyway, I graduated boot camp. I don't know, I remember how I did it, but I managed to graduate with my own group. I didn't get set behind like I was worried I would. And I graduated, and they moved me to Radioman A school. And I'm going through something called basic electricity and electronics. And I'm doing all right. I mean, I got the aptitude for it, and I like that kind of technology stuff. Hell, back then, didn't even know what technology was. So I'm graduating all that, and they said, "Well, it's about time for your swim test." And I said, "What do you mean swim test?" They said, "Yeah, you got to go over in this, it looked like about 100-foot tall tower, plumb full of water. And you got to put this hood over your head." I forget what they call it, a bathysphere or something like that. And you step in there, and it will depressurize the doors, and you go out there and you float to the top of that damn thing. I said, "That ain't happening, period." He said, "Well, you can't get out of it." I said, "Yeah, I can." "How do I get out of this class?" "You can't." So I went back, and that was back in the days when we used them little card readers, them old paper, hey, you know what I'm talking about, where you had to draw little squares, check your boxes and everything so they could score you. And I took about 100 of them SOBs. And I penciled every damn mark on there, and I run that thing through there until they flunked me out of that class in about an hour. So that meant I got sent to the fleet instead of going and serving them submarines. Well, I didn't even know that I was going to serve on a submarine. That scared the hell out of me. Top of that. Don't get me wrong, them guys in them submarines and them gals, I think they're doing a hell of a job. But that wasn't where this old fat boy wanted to go. No sirree. So they sent me to the ship, flew me over to Rota, Spain, I think it was. Met my ship there in Mallorca, if I remember right. Had a lot of fun. I remember one time we was over in, I think it was Trieste, Italy. Not too far from Monaco, you know, where they got the big casino and all them billionaires and millionaires go and everything. And me and another guy, an old guy named Curtis Bond, I remember him well. We rode a train from wherever we were at to Monaco and rented a motel room. And we proceeded to gamble and have a good old time like 20-something-year-old kids will do. Well, something happened. He had to go back to the ship. So he told me, he said, everything's all taken care of. All you got to do is take care of it in the morning. I said, okay. So when I woke up in the morning, after I sobered up and everything, I called him down to the front desk and said, how much we owe you? And it was an ungodly amount because apparently he'd been on the phone talking all night long. Well, I'm sure glad I made that phone call because I snuck out of that damn motel, went back to the ship, and I said, that's his problem. This room's in his name, and he created this mess. He's going to have to fix it. And sure enough, it took about 6 months for them to find the ship, but they finally found him, and he had to pay that bill. That's the funniest thing I ever seen. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. We had a good time. Life's about enjoying life. Not about being miserable and doing this and doing that. Blaming everybody for your misfortune. It's terrible what's happening. We're going through some of the worst times I think I've ever seen. And I'm beginning to agree with others that it seems like the powers that be are wanting to do this to us. It's like all for us and none for y'all. Well, I'm not a historian, but it's my understanding throughout history we've had people like Marie Antoinette and other people. And in the long run, all we're doing is repeating history. You know, in the 1920s, you had the robber barons and all this stuff, the guild, or all the glitter and all the Ritz and all that. Well, you know, you got that damn dumbass Trump down there throwing these big-ass 1920 type robber baron parties. We're just history repeating itself, folks. We'll get through this. Ain't no cure, ain't no savior for people like me or many of the people like me that have gone through it or losing everything. Because we can't get back to work, and we got to get back to work making big bucks to save what we had. So we're going to lose it all. I already have. That's why I live in this damn garage. I don't have no damn teeth and everything else. But we will get through it. And many of us will survive. And hopefully we'll learn from this nightmare. Anyway, enough of my rambling on. I enjoy our comments, our conversations. And I'm just trying to pass on things that I'll be 68 next month. Hell, tomorrow's next month. Anyway, I'm just trying to pass on the things that I've learned. And believe me, I had a once bright future where I should have been a millionaire. And my life goal was to retire to the country club, trade stocks, and play golf. I was close, very close. And then it all went to hell. Thank you.